Hi, I'm Bob Carlson, president of Arbor Snowboards. Our business plan calls for $1.25 million to be used for production and marketing.
I'm Bob Rowe with Intuitive Solutions. We set up job machines for newspapers throughout the country. Our business plan calls for $5 million for market expansion.
Hi, I'm Samuel Disman from Timeus. My capital requirements are $1 million for production and marketing.
My name is John Morris. I'm with Network Guidance Company. In fact, I'm a co-founder of the company. Our company specializes in enterprise network design, implementation, and management.
So, who's going to make it to the show? Stay tuned. Money Hunt is next.
Money Hunt is made possible by PricewaterhouseCoopers, committed to entrepreneurial ventures through a wide array of consulting and financial services. And Money Hunt is also brought to you by Yahoo Finance, an online resource for investing and personal finance.
Welcome to Money Hunt. I'm Miles Spencer. If you're one of the millions of Americans growing a business or just dreaming about it, know this: you're going to have to sell. Sell your idea, sell your company, sell yourself. That's where many American dreams reach a crossroads. Find out right now if you have what it takes on Money Hunt.
Hi, I'm Cliff Ennico. Entrepreneurs from around America send us their business plans, and we pick some of the more interesting ones to be on the show with us. They try to convince us they've got a hot idea. We try not to be convinced. At the end, one of our guests will receive some free help and guidance from our Money Hunt mentor.
And that would be Jennifer Cushell, president of Young Entrepreneurs Network. After starting 4 businesses herself, she's now written her second book, The Young Entrepreneur's Edge. Welcome back to Money Hunt.
Thank you.
Jennifer, we're going to see some young companies on today's show. What are you looking for from them?
2 things. I like to see them get very dirty. I like to see them get into their business, do anything necessary to get it going. I don't want them to talk to their parents. I don't want them to eat, sleep, do everything they can to get that business off the ground. And then when they get there, be able to delegate.
Great.
Terrific. Our first guest is Bob Carlson, who's backstage right now with Money Hunt's Margot Lee. Margot.
Bob, have you pulled any all-nighters lately?
That's how I started the business. That's how the business continues to be run.
Okay, and what's your favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
Water.
Okay, doors opening. Welcome to Money Hunt.
Thank you.
Bob Carlson is founder and president of Arbor Snowboards in Santa Monica, California. His company makes, as you might expect, snowboards, but really top-of-the-line ones with wooden top sheets. Welcome to Money Hunt.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how this company got started.
1989, my skis were stolen. I had a snowboard. I had to go snowboarding. Had no choice. I was in college, had no money. I fell in love with snowboarding. A couple of years later, I found myself in the wood products business. We were making restaurant tables, architectural material, picture frame moldings, and snowboarding for fun. And we couldn't imagine why nobody was using wood veneer, a thin layer of wood on top of a snowboard.
The most interesting part of your plan, I thought at first, was you basically had a background in veneer and furniture. So the first woodworkers that actually develop a snowboard business. Now, I think you brought some video. Why don't we cue that up? We can watch in that screen, and why don't you tell us what we're seeing?
Okay, right. What I'm seeing right now is various boards from all 3 of our lines, our Woody line, our Mickey Munoz signature line, and our Heritage line. This is the factory. This is showing some of the final stages of production, grinding, finishing, getting the boards ready to be shipped. This is Ken Perkins. He's one of our ambassador riders, just riding the board, showing how they perform.
Now, how many ambassador riders do you have?
We have 7, and we call them the ambassador riders because we want them to reflect the company and the lifestyle that we're promoting. And these guys have well-rounded lives. They're into snowboarding. They're into other sports. They really speak well. They can represent the company in all situations.
So not necessarily young and aggressive so much as a little bit more sophisticated.
Not freestylers, free riders. They like to ride all over the mountain. They like to get in the backcountry, ride in the trees. They like the experience of being in the outdoors.
In fact, your business plan says something very, very interesting. I'm going to quote here. It says that you're looking to target the 24 to 90-year-old market for snowboarders. I really have to ask you this. What does Granny want when she hits the slopes?
Granny wants a couple of things. Granny tends to be a little bit more discerning than the young snowboarder. She's not buying a board based on what her friends are saying or what the young kids at the snowboard shops are saying. She's buying it based on reviews, based on what people she respects say about the board, how they look, she knows they're going to perform and hold up.
But
She's looking for value.
How are you segmenting this market, though? 25 to 90 is a big group, and I know my 45-year-old uncle's dying to go snowboarding, but he doesn't want neon green on his first snowboard.
We're going after the adult snowboard market. The main focus of what we're doing right now is 24 to 36.
Right, now the veneer has an aesthetic appeal, but from your plan, you also make the claim that it improves performance. How?
Veneer is a porous, fibrous material. Like fiberglass, it absorbs resin. The resin locks those fibers into place, just like it does with the other two layers of fiberglass. What that does is help the board keep its shape. When it flexes, it wants to snap back even more, becomes more responsive.
How do you protect that?
We've developed a 5-stage process to protect the wood before it goes into production. And that by doing that, we've been able to create a process whereby we can give the wooden top sheets that we develop to any manufacturer and mass produce affordably our wood top snowboards.
But I'm sorry, but as far as keeping your competition from the bigger companies from going ahead and putting wood veneer on their products, how do you protect that process?
It's about doing it affordably. It's about our vendor relations. It's about how everything from accessing the wood all the way through each vendor that we use and the materials and the processes that we have developed to treat the wood.
Yeah. Bob, snowboarding is a pretty extreme sport. I got to believe these wood veneers get pretty scratched up. I mean, is there an ongoing line of maintenance products or maintenance schedule you recommend for these things?
We have developed a board that does not get scratched up or beat up more than any other board on the market, and we're continually improving that to the point where this year we've introduced a top sheet to our boards that's bulletproof. We call it our Photo Fusion top sheet. It's...
Okay. I'm going to show my ignorance. I'm not a snowboarder, but is wax required for this?
On the base, yes.
On the base.
Not on the top, Cliff. A lot of product in the market. Let's talk about the market and competition section. There's got to be some consolidations, and that consolidation is going to continue. How are you going to position yourself in that market?
Well, it's interesting. We would think the competition would come from the ski companies that are now making snowboards. The average age of skiing is 38, where in snowboarding it's about 22 to 24. Those ski companies, their snowboard segments, their snowboard departments are not going after the adult snowboarder who are crossing over from skiing in great numbers. Actually, American sports data showed that adult snowboarders represent all of the growth in the industry right now.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Let me give you a question about your distribution. In your projections, you're showing right now your average store is selling about 19 units. But when you talk about growing to, I think, like 200 stores, that number's dropping to 15 units per store. Why aren't you working closer with your distribution outlets that exist, considering that you already have the relationships and the market is so crowded?
Well, we're going to be going to a lot more specialty shops that do smaller volume, but help create the brand and help get the brand out to opinion makers, mom and pop stores that are real important.
One more following behind Jennifer's question. You're looking at that channel that you're developing, and you're also considering in the plan developing a channel online. How are you going to sell online and through dealers without cross-cutting yourself?
That's a great question. It has to be done carefully. We cannot do it now. We have it developed. We have a plan ready to go. But we are too small to implement an online component, an e-commerce component.
Competition, K2, Ride, there's some pretty big players out there making snowboards. Wood veneer, it doesn't sound like it's something you can really patent. What's to prevent them from copying it?
Again, it's the process. It's our vendor relations, years of woodworking and experience and working in the wood industry. A couple people have tried and failed. Elan tried, they weren't able to do it.
Do you have a patent, though, and can you patent this?
Because we change it every year, because we're constantly developing, we haven't reached that point.
It's really talking about a proprietary process, not that many veneer guys messing around the snowboard industry. Question from the management and money section. Your business plan calls for some capital. How much and what would you use it for?
The Arbor business plan is calling for $1.25 million. What we'd like to use that for is production financing and for marketing.
Okay. Snowboarding, very cyclical business. How do you deal with it?
Obviously, Southern Hemisphere sales would help. Based on the nature of how you sell the product, you sell your overseas stuff first, and then you have your domestic stuff which ships later and trails throughout the winter, and then you can start looking at Southern Hemisphere sales and other things like that.
Question, because we don't have too much more time. Solid, compact team in the business plan, but no super salesman and an outside rep force. How are you going to police them?
just strong sales management, staying on top of them. I'm going to the Providence show tomorrow after the taping of this show to make sure my rep's doing his job.
You also talked about other products. You wanted to develop bags and hats and things like that. You talked about doing it in-house. Have you thought about licensing? Have you thought about doing skateboards even at some point?
Actually, we were approached this week about a company who wants to license our name for a helmet. Absolutely, we looked at licensing. A lot of the products we're going to do in-house, and there's a balance in there that needs to be struck.
Thanks for gliding on into Money Hunt. Great presentation.
Thanks.
We're going to be back after a short break with our second entrepreneur.
It's not as easy as it looks to put a price tag on most small businesses. Sure, your business broker or business advisor will consider your earnings history and sales projections and look at the quality of management. But the process is far from scientific. Your company's value will also fluctuate with the health of the overall economy and your particular industry. Your goal should be to get a good ballpark value to use as a guide for negotiation. In the end, your business is still only worth what someone will pay for it.
Welcome back. Time for viewer mail. Ken Hawley watches us on Georgia Public Television. I've invented a non-prescription hangover cure. It's being distributed through vending machines and doing real well. But I would like to buy and maintain my own machines. Where can I find the money? Well, basically, Ken, you're looking at a bank line of credit for equipment. The vending machine companies themselves may be a good place to go for financing because you're creating a market for their products. But Ken, before you get into this, give it some real thought. You're getting into the vending machine business now. This means you're the guy who's going to have to go out there and sell them, stock them, repair them when they break down. Make sure you're ready to take that on, especially during the early years. There'll be nobody else to do it. Our next guest is Samuel Dismond. Margot.
Samuel, building a business is a lot of hard work. Where do you get your energy?
Oh, meditation.
Meditation?
Yeah.
And did you meditate on anything to say out there today?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, the door's opening. Welcome to Money Hunt.
Thank you.
Samuel Dismond is CEO and designer of Timios Inc. of San Francisco, California. Samuel's company has found a new way to sell watches and timepieces on the internet. Samuel, welcome to Money Hunt.
Thank you very much.
Give us a little bit of history. How did this company get started?
Well, I was a busy, believe it or not, practicing physician and an IP technology consultant. And I hated being late. I hate people being late. And I was one of those people that set my watch fast.
Wow.
And so
Samuel, I have to ask, Timios, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, it's a play on the word timos, which means timely. And the name of the technology is the Time Operating System. Contract the OS.
Okay.
You got the name.
Now, I understand you've done a lot of market research on this,
Yes,
but you taped some of it recently in San Francisco. If we cue that up and listen to it, we can hear what some folks have said about the questions you asked.
You set your watch fast? I do. By how much would you say you set it fast? Usually about 5 to 10 minutes. Couple minutes.
Usually 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
3 minutes? 5 to 10 minutes.
Usually by about 5 minutes, sometimes 10, but usually 5.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
And why is that?
4 is my favorite number, and I'm always late.
Samuel, the one thing they didn't ask was whether these people are actually on time or not.
Well, actually, we've done a lot of market research, and there's a significant cohort of the target market that actually is on time. They're punctual, and they're very motivated, they're professionals, and they just feel time flow differently than other people, and they set their watch fast to help them stay on time.
Samuel, we all buy into this. People are habitually late. You know, how does your product deal with this massive problem?
Okay, the Timios watch line, first of all, is complete. We have 5 models developed, both analog and digital models, ready for manufacture. The watches can keep perfect time. However, unlike any other watch, they can be programmed to be fast within a range. A microprocessor randomly picks a number within the range, makes the displayed time fast by that amount, and then it slowly changes the value, the amount of fastness over the course of the day.
Okay, now hold on a second. Now, I used to do this when I was working years ago in New York. I used to set my watch every day like 5 or 10 minutes fast.
Sure.
You're telling me that's what your watch basically does? It just automatically sets fast?
No, you get to choose the range.
Okay.
So if you normally set your watch 5 minutes fast, the minimum of the range would be 5 minutes. Then you pick some comfortable number greater than that. And then the microprocessor
Why do I need a range? Why can't I just set it 10 minutes fast?
Well, the problem with the strategy is that over time, you remember how fast you set the watch. So
okay.
But
the strategy loses.
Sammy, what does it look like? As a potential investor, I'm looking at this and I can't see a picture. And all I know is that executives are very, concerned about their image and what their watches look like. When I saw digital in the plan, it scared me.
Yeah, no.
I'm thinking $5 Casio.
No. We have 3 very, very handsome analog watches.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to show them to you.
What does
some
that
other-
mean? I know cell phones. I know
basically,
analog cell
I'm
phones.
still getting this. Your watch actually psychs me out because I don't know how far ahead of time I am.
That's right. But it's within the range you think is safe.
Well, that's interesting. And if you had an analog watch, how is it that you're able to set that range for the analog watch?
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. One way is to use a solenoid so that the hand moves. The other way is we have an LCD window that is positioned on the face of the
Why
watch.
wouldn't you use my Palm Pilot? I put in my Palm Pilot 10 minutes before, alarm me, let me know 15 minutes before I've got to leave.
Well, that's a very good point. In the cohort we studied, several of the people actually use both alarms and set the time fast.
I do both.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you gotten a patent on this process?
Oh, absolutely.
that
The
sets
IP's
time?
locked up very hard. Very broad patent.
Let's talk about market and competition. I mean, I
Yes.
think it's a unique process. But do you have any hard empirical evidence that it would be accepted?
Oh, yes, we do. We've done.
Tell me a little bit about that.
We've done a lot of focus groups. Some are on the street interviews that you saw, and some of them are in groups. People either get this or they don't. Of the people that get it, everybody's when they leave the focus groups. So you can tell us when the watches are available. So.
Yeah, no, really.
One thing I'm concerned about is you haven't actually sold any. My first concern was I hadn't seen it, and I think you're going to have a problem selling when you can't physically see it. But why haven't you taken the steps to actually get a prototype out and sell it to 100 people?
No, we do. Well, first, there's a couple of issues. The design's complete. Watch manufacturer is actually pretty off the shelf. So we just need the key to turn the manufacturer. Second issue, the cost to do the non-recoverable engineering to do one watch is huge. To do the next watch is really small.
I mean, are we talking $100? Are we talking 50,000?
$10,000 for software development. Yeah.
Samuel, I don't know. This is a really cool feature, but are people going to buy the watch just for this feature?
People buy watches because of style. We've tested also our designs. Everybody loves our designs. So we don't.
So it's a really cool watch
Yes,
that
it
just
is.
happens to have this built-in feature that nobody else
And
has.
has this feature, yes.
Right, in
yes.
theory, no one else could get. Now, in
That's right.
terms of defining your market, you say in your plan, people who set a watch fast, spend $300 a year on watches, your words,
Yes.
and are regular internet users.
That's right.
And that's pretty broad. Can you segment your market further and explain how you plan to reach each one of them?
Yes, we're going to rely on an e-commerce website as the centerpiece of our retail strategy. Unlike Amazon.com, we'll be profitable shortly after commencing sales because our margins are really huge.
Right.
We're going to target San Francisco and Santa Clara County, home to about 1,125,000 affluent professionals that are highly wired.
And they're always late out there.
But I want to talk about this, though. Your plan says that you're looking to get 80% of your total orders through the website. Aren't you going to have to spend a ton of money just to drag that traffic to that site?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And the reason is twofold. First of all, you put a drop in the internet water, and if the drop hits the water well, which we have every reason to believe it will, the ripples.
Right.
travel.
One other question in marketing and competition before we go on to the money. Are there any other of the watch companies or wholesalers that are on the web today?
Oh yes, actually, Timex is on the web. International Watch, which got funded, is only selling brand names on the web and doing selling watches at a pretty good clip.
Let's move on to
Sure.
management and money for a minute. And then Jennifer's going to jump in with another question. Your business plan calls for some capital. How
Yes.
much? What would you use it for?
$500,000 for beginning manufacturing and setting up operations, and then we need the second $500,000 would be for launching the website and for marketing.
Great.
Samuel, you said that you're going to use outdoor advertising
Yes.
for this product. Now, that's a great way to show a cool watch, but how do you convey the time management function on a billboard?
Well, the principle, without getting too much into creative, the principle will be to get people's attention. And we have some pretty good ways to do that.
You also talked about focusing on opinion makers. Now, my concern is, if you're talking about opinion makers, aren't they wearing the tags and the Movados and all the more popular watches? Why are they going to buy a $300 watch that's new on the market?
Well, the opinion makers to which I was referring include people in design, like ID, people in the watch magazines, who some of which have seen my watches and they say, hey, let us know when they're made.
Samuel, this is a truly virtual company. You're outsourcing
that's
virtually everything, from
That's
the
right.
manufacturing overseas to order fulfillment here in the
That's
States.
right.
How do you handle quality control for something that's this sophisticated?
Reputable vendors, and we have those lined up.
Management question. Your team's just you and your VP of marketing, which is understandable at this stage. Talk about your future recruiting plans. And
Yes.
management.
To reach our performance objective, we used a standard back office model for calculating FTE requirements. We can reach our performance objectives with 9 people, very small, scalable operation, and we have a world-class board of advisors.
Samuel, who on your business team really understands the watch business?
Actually, we have it's me. I understand the watch business. And as far as marketing is concerned, it's our vice president and our board of advisors.
Plus, he was here on time.
I was early.
You can find out more about this guest on our website at www.moneyhunt.com. When we come back, our partners meeting and our mentor chooses one entrepreneur to help.
In 1956, inventor Walter Morrison convinced the Whammo Company to test market as flying metal discs, catching the 1950s UFO flying saucer craze. In 1959, Whammo renamed the now safer plastic discs Frisbee, the popular name for the toy at Yale. Walter Frederick Morrison, Frisbee. What a great idea.
Welcome back to Money Hunt. Before we bring this to a conclusion and our mentor picks a winner, let's talk about these plans. Bob from Arbor Snowboard. Veneer experts in furniture business in the snowboard. I love that. Great demos. Remind me of the rollerblade bubble. And also, now there's a consolidation in that industry, just like there was in inline skating. Ride, their manufacturer, is presently competition, but I think a good exit strategy eventually down the road.
Yeah, Bob's doing this in a very smart way. He's going for a market which is just evolving, which is the mature snowboarder. Now, mind you, we do not know. Snowboarding is a pretty extreme sport. We don't know how it's going to age. Will it age like skiing, or is it going to age like skydiving? We just don't know. He's got a lot of competition out there. There's nothing really proprietary. Anybody who's in the snowboarding business can make a snowboard with wood veneer.
Yeah, but Cliff, you missed the point. These guys are experts at veneer, and nobody has stopped to spend the time on it.
Admittedly, but there are other people who can do veneer.
But they also have the PR now, and they're getting the name recognition that's important.
Yeah, but most of the people that can do veneer are making furniture. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What else you got, Jennifer?
No, I think the branding is very important, and they're starting to get out there. ESPN, MTV, they're all carrying them. So I think that name, the Arbor name, is getting out there, and they're going to build a following.
Yeah, it's an important part of it. Extremely well pulled together business plan, great market research. I really like that about the company. Let's move on to the second one. Samuel Disman from Timeos. First of all, for someone, Cliff, that keeps time with a calendar, I was fascinated by the fact that you actually had an interest in Timeos.
Come now.
Watches are a marketing game, and that's critically important.
I need this product like you need a crew cut. Give me a break.
First of all, you know, one of the things that didn't come up was licensing. He didn't talk about it until after, and it seemed as if maybe he was going to have difficulty with licensing because the watch business is very entrenched. But if he can't get a prototype going, he's going to have to pursue that. Otherwise, got to get a prototype to show people.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, first of all, there's no question. People are always late. I used to set my watch 5 minutes fast. This is a really cool feature. But he's not selling a feature. He's selling a watch. And when he's doing that, he's going to be going head-to-head with Timex and the big boys. This is not the kind of feature that can be easily explained in a billboard or whatever. He's got to really demonstrate this, let people see it. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I am the kind of guy who has trouble programming his VCR. This is, to me, one more thing to program.
It does confuse me, and I'm one of those people that's always late. I set my watch 15 minutes ahead, but it's just another thing to think about for me, so I'd be scared that it's too fast or too slow, or, you know, it scares me a little bit.
I think that once you get used to it, I think it really has a good application and something that, that could.
I mean, there's no question. The feature is absolutely key. I mean, but he's going to need a huge marketing budget. I think he needs to take the numbers that I'm seeing in this plan and double them.
And also to raise $1 million without a prototype, without a company image, without any, you know,
Yeah,
sales.
but remember, he was
also
taking
tough.
it in pieces. You know, he broke it down. He didn't say so in the plan, but he broke it down here. He's a quick thinker on his feet, as a matter of fact. A little bit to prove concept, do a little bit of prototyping, get the product out there, then the second $500,000.
I mean, it's funny, both of our entrepreneurs today have made some very interesting career transitions from physician to watchmaker. I'm a little concerned. I don't know, how do you guys feel about the virtual company concept? I think he's really going to have some issues with quality control.
It's essential. The virtual company concept is essential in these days.
Yeah,
you have to be able to start from nothing.
And I'm not worried about the fact that, you know, watches is basically a design and marketing business, so the tooling and the manufacturing.
I was actually concerned that he had an office, to be honest. Why is he spending money on an office and not on getting the prototype done?
Yeah, true. I think that's probably right.
That was a concern.
You know, but this guy, though, he does understand that this is a marketing business. This isn't really a watch business. And one thing I think we can all agree on is that he's a super marketer.
And they have a strong strategic planning group in marketing.
As a guy that's on time, it's obvious which one my favorite is. It would be Timeos, but Cliff, what do
I'll
you
tell
think?
you, I am not a snowboarder, but I'm going to go with Arbor Snowboarders. I think this is going to be a maturing market, and he's got the leading edge.
Well, it's really Jennifer's vote that counts as the expert on young entrepreneurs. Who are you going to choose to help?
I thought they were both very, very interesting companies. The problem I have with Timeos is that I think they're looking too closely at steps 19 and 20 and not looking close enough at steps 3, 4, and 5. Arbor, on the other hand, has really, you know, hit the ground running. They've done incredible things with the low overhead.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer. Let's go backstage to Margot Lee.
It sounds like your first money's got to go to building the prototype, something to show people.
Actually, it's for the first inventory quantity, yes.
Okay.
That's what the first money is for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Bob, great presentations. Congratulations. Here's
Thank
Jennifer's card. Let us know how it turns out.
Thank you very much.
Miles?
Thanks, Margot. We try to make Money Hunt a worthwhile experience for all entrepreneurs, and that includes the contribution of our guest mentor, Jennifer Cushell. Thanks for coming on the show. One last question. What do you think makes a great young entrepreneur?
I think it's someone who's willing to do anything it takes to get their business off the ground.
Great. So you think this is easy, pitching your company before a bunch of total strangers while a national TV audience looks on? It's not.
If you're one of those great young entrepreneurs that Jennifer spoke about, get in touch with us through our online audition, and maybe we'll be seeing you soon on Money Hunt.
Money Hunt is made possible by PricewaterhouseCoopers, committed to entrepreneurial ventures through a wide array of consulting and financial services. And Money Hunt is also brought to you by Yahoo Finance, an online resource for investing and personal finance.